Today, I want to introduce you to my Dentity Code. The Dentity Code is something that I created over the last couple of years when I realized that women really needed a process to learn how to release from past identities and step into the identity that was going to serve them get what they want. Identity work is such a huge thing in my world and what I do for myself and in my coaching. We've all heard the statement, like, who do you need to become to achieve the goals that you've set for yourself? And in order to achieve something, you need to become a different version of yourself. Identity is such a massive topic. And I think that one of the things that we see is, I've had this happen to me often where I'll be at an event and someone will be talking about a concept, they're talking about identity, or, we're all like, yes, I love that. I get it. Like, I need to become someone different. Yes, who do I need to become? But then what happens? You go home and I don't know, how do I change my identity? What does that even mean? What does it even mean to change your identity? There are so many different layers to it, and there's so many different steps to shifting your identity. It can become a really overwhelming and confusing thing. And then not to mention the fact that you bring in our emotional mindset and our profile and the chaos of life. Before you know it, you have discarded the notion that you even need to shift your identity, become someone new. And then you fall back to the default of who you were instead of rising up to who you can be. So I created the Dentity Code to give you a step-by-step process to shifting your identity from who you needed to become in order to survive, in order to step into the woman you need to be to thrive. I'm not going to be able to go into the entire process of the Dentity Code here today on the show, mostly because it's an 8-hour seminar live, and I want to be able to give you the nuts and the bolts so that you can at least grasp it. But if you find yourself interested as we're talking through the Dentity Code, you can literally access the entire seminar A to Z, top to bottom, that's going to walk you through how to Dentity shift. It's live and available on my website, Dentity Live. It gives you the entire replay from one of my live events. So I just wanted to give you that as I'm going through this, because like I said, I'm not going to be able to give you all of the bits and parts in this particular episode. It's just too much information. It's going to blow your mind. So let's talk about the Dentity Code. Okay. The Dentity Code is a 4-part process: identify, release, visualize, create. Okay, I'm going to repeat those: identify, release, visualize, and create. That's the Dentity Code. Let's talk about identify first. So in the first part of the Dentity Code, we're looking to identify the identity that no longer serves us. So if you're familiar with the concept bound nature, that's where we actually take the time to create and identify our bound nature avatar. What is the identity that's keeping you stuck? Who are you? How do you show up in the world in an identity that no longer serves you? And I say no longer serves you because oftentimes we adopt identities in modes of survival. I talk about it all the time. I became a people pleaser as an effort to avoid conflict because I don't like conflict. But as I became a people pleaser to avoid conflict, sure, it helped me in the short term, but it didn't help me in the long run when I started, saying yes to everything, not choosing myself, not making decisions for myself. So I had to learn how to release that identity. So in the identify area section of the Dentity Code, what we do is we go through the step-by-step process of identifying what is my bound nature avatar? How does she show up in the world? What does she look like? What does she sound like? What does she do? We give our avatar an actual name. We give her a name, we give her an image, we give her a story. So what you're able to do is you're actually able to almost feel her inside of you. You feel her presence when you're in that bound nature avatar. By being able to do that, what you're able to do, this is really important for me, is I actually want you to disassociate from your bound nature avatar. Why? Because she is not you. Your bound nature avatar is someone who you became. It's an identity you adopted through influence, through experience, and it's not who you are. It's who you needed to become. So we want to disassociate from her. That's not me. That's not the true me. That's not my free nature. And once you've created the bound nature avatar, it's almost like it's a suit that you can take off. You can discard it. You can say, you know what? You don't get to play today in my life. You don't get to make decisions in my life. So that's identifying your bound nature avatar, the identity that no longer serves you. Okay, so that's number one. The second part of the Dentity Code is releasing. We need to release from that past identity. I'm not going to use the words we need to let it go, because I think sometimes when I use the words let it go, we have this image that we're going to discard something for the rest of our life and it's never going to come back. What you need to understand is that identity's been a part of you for so long. It's your neurology, it's your makeup. You can't just go through this one experience and imagine like, okay, I've identified my bound nature avatar. Now it's never going to come back. It's never going to have an impact on my life. It just doesn't work that day. But what I want you to do is I want you to release her. And there's a whole, in the Dentity live event, we go through this whole release process where essentially what we're doing is we're writing a letter to that avatar and we're saying, I no longer need you. Thank you for helping me. Thank you for being there for me. Thank you for protecting me. But you no longer get to have a role in my life. And I'm going to release you. I'm going to give you permission to no longer play a part in my life. This is the space where what we do is we're releasing the guilt and the shame and the embarrassment of that identity, because no one really loves their bound nature avatar. I'm gonna just say it straight up, even though what I want you to do is really look at that bound nature avatar and say, thank you. Thank you for protecting me. Thank you for being there for me, but I don't need you anymore. So you can go on now. It's okay. So that's the second part of the Dentity Code where we release it. It's an incredibly emotional experience. In my live events, we actually do an entire release ceremony. It's the most beautiful experience. Every single time I do it, it's more and more powerful. I'm going to tell you what we do because it's so beautiful. So once we get to the release part, all the women in the room, they write a letter to their avatar, their bound nature avatar, why they're releasing it, why they're letting it go. And then they all have a little piece of paper. And they write one sentence, goodbye, I don't need you anymore. Here's why, whatever they write down. And then we roll it up and we blow up helium balloons, and they stuff it in the helium balloon. And we all sit on the floor and I play a song. I ask everybody to close their eyes and to sit with it for a few minutes. Sit with that version of you who you no longer want to be. Sit with that version of you who doesn't need to come and save you anymore. It's the most beautiful thing. Most women start crying. And I say to them, when you are ready, I want you to let go of the balloon. Release the balloon. And so at a certain point, everybody releases their balloons. They all float up to the ceiling. Now, here's the power of this. So the next day at the live event, the balloons are still in the room, right? If it's a helium balloon, it's still in the room. The likelihood is, though, the balloon has actually fallen to the ground. So the women in that second day, they come back to the event, and the balloon that had so much power yesterday has lost its power and is sitting in the corner on the floor. That's what you're going to do with your bound nature avatar when you release it. You're going to take the power away. She's not in control of your life anymore. She's not in charge of your life anymore. So that's the release part of the Dentity Code. Once we've identified, once we've released, now we get to go into vision. We get to visualize. What do I want? I've let this version of me go. I've removed her from her power. I know she's going to come back and she's going to try and mess with me. But if you don't create a vision of where you want to go, what's going to happen is you're going to default back to that old persona, because that's just the way the brain works. The brain defaults back to comfort. So I walk women through the process of creating a vision story. I usually work vision stories in the length of, give or take like 6 to 12 months. But I help you create a vision story. What do you want? Where are you going? What do you want to build? Now that you've released this version of yourself that has held you back, kept you stuck, what do you want to go do? What are you going to create? So we visualize and we create a vision story that gets us excited. That probably scares us a little bit. I always say if your vision story doesn't scare you a little bit, it's probably not big enough. So we create a vision story. Then we move into the final piece, which is create. We create our free nature avatar. So who is the identity that I need to step into in order to go after the vision that I want? And just like we did for the bound nature avatar, we do it for the vision, for the free nature avatar. What does she look like? What does she sound like? What does she talk like? What does she walk like? What does she wear? How does she carry herself? How does she show up in the world? We give her a name. We give her a story. We give her a song, give her a face. Who is this new identity that you are going to step into? It's so amazing when I teach this identity work and women go through this identity shift to watch women actually change. Women start cutting their hair, changing their wardrobe, doing things differently, not because there was something wrong with who they were, but because they have this new sense of self. Your free nature avatar, again, I want you to think of it like a suit that you put on. Every single morning, wake up and look in the mirror and look at the woman behind you and say, who am I going to choose to be today? Am I going to be my bound nature avatar, or am I going to step into my free nature avatar and put her on? Put her on from head to toe, inside out. When we feel good, we do good. Step into that free nature avatar because she's the one who's going to help you get what you want. So I hope you're seeing the power of this, of knowing my bound nature avatar is the identity, the persona, the image of the person who is not going to help me get what I want. My free nature avatar is who I want, who is going to help me get to the end point of my goals. Step out of this one and step into the free nature avatar every single day. That's the Dentity Code oh my gosh, in such an abbreviated version, but I'm sure you're getting the gist of it from that concept. Every single woman needs to know their identity from an avatar standpoint, bound nature and free nature. You have to create the image of who you want to be. And here's the thing that's like so important, I think, to highlight as well. You're going to go through more than one identity shift. As you up level in life, as you change, as you grow, as you master new things, it's going to call upon a different identity. And so for me, one of the things that this is so important is that I give women essentially this like toolbox of strategies and tools that when you're going through challenges in life, you can pick out the tool that you need. And you can go like, okay, what do I need right now? Right now, I need to shift my identity. Right now, I need a connection port. Right now, I need a flow switch. Right now, I need to do my avatar work. Right now, I need to do my 4 pillars. And that's just, some of my tools and my strategies, obviously. But starting in talking about the Pentagon of Success, which is my foundation, my 5 foundational principles to help build whatever you want, the avatar work in there, who do you need to be? This is how you build it. This is how you create the identity of who you need to be in order to go get what you want. So if you want to create your avatar of who you want to step into, release from the old one, go and check out Dentity Live. You can access it on my Instagram, the Carrie Campbell _experience. It's all there because as women, we all need to give ourselves permission to rise into the woman that we want to be. Remember, nothing changes without action. Listening is the spark, but action is where the fire ignites. If this episode moved you, do what bold women do. Rate it, share it, tag me at the Carrie Campbell _experience and pass it on to the ones in your life who need this message. Don't keep the inspiration to yourself. And if you're ready to go deeper, come find me at the Carrie Campbell _experience. For the women who refuse to be left behind, join us inside the No Woman Left Behind movement, a community where we rise together, rewrite our stories, and claim the future that's already ours. Hold the vision, trust the process, commit to today. Until next time, let's redefine, reclaim, and rise together.